B.
How are you doing?
Good, how are
Good to see you.
Hold on. I wasn't sure if this had to be landscape or portrait.
Oh, this way.
Let me just set this up.
Yeah, take your time. We're early, so we have to set it up. That's why I called you in a bit earlier.
Okay, that's right. How are you?
Very good. You look good, JJ. Harmeet Sani shouting out and saying hi. Harmeet Sani, the old friend from the tour. There you go.
Sani is. I see him quite often now at corporate golf events.
Yeah. That's right.
To a couple together.
He has a good life.
Yeah.
You're struggling, I'm struggling. You guys are having fun. Good.
I swear. If anyone who has a paycheck coming in every month.
That's right. And now that we have nothing and unemployed completely. After completely unemployed, that's why I've got the time to do all this.
It's good. It's like I've watched so many of yours. It's like it's gained some serious traction and it's all guys like people don't get to see and chat with that often, you know? So it's interesting.
So many guys doing so much behind the scenes, you know, or just to support the scene. And I think that this was the best way to actually interact and meet them and let everybody else also meet them. You know, because we can never explain what you're doing down in Coimbatore or Dinesh Thakur is doing up in Delhi and is behind his computer, you know.
Some great insight. I heard his chat, you know.
Yeah, good stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Tomorrow we have Devang Shah from Kalhar tomorrow. And we have, so the gentleman who opened a golf course and Shivasnath also from Bombay.
Nice.
So we have some good guys and we have lots of other guys coming on and, you know, it'll be good. Krishna Swami is there on Sunday. So that'll be another exciting one. You know Krishna Swami. And he has a goods on everyone.
He does.
So Krishna Swami is going to be good fun. So these are the good guys who are coming on and, you know, explaining what they've been doing and what they see into how they see the future of Indian golf unfolding and what the past has been most important. Amit's rules masterclass. Amit Luthra. Did you hear that?
I did.
Amit Luthra on how to use the rules. Rule the rules. That's what we called it, I think. Rule the rules.
And all the experiences he's had with trying to beat the system.
Yeah, absolutely. Beating the system and caught people beating the system also. So he beat those guys also who were trying to beat the system. Luthra has been great, He's been a great support to the system and Golf Foundation has done so much for these little kids, you know.
Absolutely, I was at that event a few weeks ago in ITC.
We'll talk about it more because I know you've also done a lot for them. So I see a lot of 3 Below t-shirts on them. So obviously you've had your thing into that system. So
try and help anyone who's helping people with lesser privileges, no?
Right. We'll give it another couple of minutes. We'll do some chit chat and then since people are coming in, you know, so let them come in so that they don't miss out on what
everyone's watching though. We can't. Everyone's listening in, right? Everyone that's on yet. So I can't ask you the questions I want to ask you.
Oh, you can. Don't worry. It's up to me to answer them or not, or how I answer them. Don't worry. I'm used to questions all my life. That's all I've been doing. That's something you're used to me. Don't worry. You'll never get that answer, my friend, that you're looking for. But I'll give you the one I want to say. JJ, of all, he said, Shivas is saying something, sorry. JJ, of all shirts, you wear a black shirt. Of all the shirts that you have, all the colors, that's what he meant?
I was trying to get my logo on the screen, but it's not high enough.
Dude, that's only on PPTs. It doesn't work here black and white. Yeah, you need bright colors, JJ. Black and white is a PPT thing.
No, I was trying to get my logo, I said, but I couldn't. I'm not sitting high enough.
So next time you print it up here, no? JJ?
I know, I should.
Figure it out. So now that you know people are sitting...
golf chat, Yeah,
because we're not playing much golf here. We're just going to sit and do live chats like this. So I think it's a good way to go.
I wanted to ask, are you teaching remotely? Like I've seen a lot of coaches doing that.
Kids I do support all my students. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Every day I get a series in the morning, like about 7-8 swings in the morning. How's the swing today? So it's like So they wake up before I do because I kind of sleep a little late nowadays. Because I've been following. I'm on most of the webinars across the world, different various times. So I've been sitting on those guys for the most of the night, maybe till about 4 o'clock in the morning. So that's that's something. So it's learning for me. So because everybody was free in the world, so they all offered their services FOC, which was the best, and even great deals. Some seminars which I had to attend this year in America, and they were cancelled because I was supposed to be there already. I mean next month, and they got cancelled. So these guys wanted to do the seminars online, and they gave it to you at about 30% of the price, which was fantastic. So something which is costing $2,000 I got for a steal. So it was fantastic, and it was maybe more learning because why take a flight, go there, and do the same thing that you could have done anyways.
But you're missing the little practical part of the course as well, right?
Well, there's not much because they are actually demonstrating and stuff like that. So it's as good as that. Yeah. So we haven't, like what Dinesh was coming out with, we've had these video systems. We've never utilized it. So he said he used to go from Delhi to Bangalore to meet Chetan Meda at Eagleton for a 1-hour meeting, which could have been done just online, and which is actually the way to go, and we could have saved so many resources. Otherwise just spending money, time, just going, catching a flight, lots of things. So I think those things will change, and we will actually move on to the better things. But these things will keep happening. JJ, now let's go on to you. And people have been coming on, so we'll let them keep coming throughout this thing. So let's hear a bit about you and how it all started for you, Jay.
Golf, well, my granddad actually built me a little club when I was 4 years old out of a little bamboo shaft and a piece of a truck tire, which he found. I think he found both in Newmarket and Calcutta when he was there on work.
Right.
So I would have been 1988. And I used to hack around in my grandparents' backyard. But then went to boarding school not long after. And I only really started playing when I left boarding school and came back to Coimbatore when I was 12. With like every other kid my age, with a broken down set of, mishmash bunch of clubs. So, And in Coimbatore, where you've been here, you know how the wind blows. So that's, I think, from then is why I still can't get the ball higher than 20 feet off the ground, no matter what club I'm hitting.
Just like a lot of good Irish players, you're also one of them.
Have to keep it below the wind,
Just like the Irish players.
So that's how I started. And then quickly went on to play the junior tour when I was 13. Started playing for India as a junior not long after, and then played for India till I turned pro. Like throughout my junior and amateur years, got to see the world on the government's tab. Played at some beautiful golf courses in many countries. It was great,
So tell us a bit about that. You said something about travel the world on the government's tab. That's a great thing. I think India offers us, and a lot of people use it. A lot of people don't use it, or maybe not even aware of it. Tell us a bit how that works. I mean, how did that help you?
Well, personally, for me, it exposed me to so many cultures around the world, which I would never have had an opportunity to if not for golf. From the Far East all the way to Scotland, and when you go to these countries, it's inevitable. You're going to interact with people from those countries. You're going to eat their food. It's going to expose your palate. You're going to understand the way they live, which is not necessarily the way you live. And it opens you up as a human being. That's like life experiences and lessons that you'll never get sitting in one place. And I had the fine fortune of getting that exposure at a very young age. So when I say government tab, is because I played for India, the Indian Golf Union, which is a body under the Indian Olympic Committee. Then they took care of everything for us. We even had a little pocket money allotted to us every day. We could go and shop or have a meal out. So it was great.
Right. Wow. Fantastic. So you're a pretty good player at your times. I remember you're a nifty player. You won a lot of tournaments, and You won a lot in a row. Also, I remember. I remember there was a stretch.
I did well as an amateur, better than when I was a junior. From the age of about 18 to 22, when I turned pro, that was really my purple patch. I was the #1 amateur in India in that period, and yeah, won a bunch of tournaments around the country. Played the Asian Games. We won a silver medal there with Anirban, Chirag, and Gaganjeet. So that was really my best run.
Wow, and then you did turn pro for a brief while. I remembered you. You went out there. So tell us a bit about that. I know it's not a very happy part of
golf. I played great golf till I turned pro. And in fact, I turned pro at the Indian Open. I think it was in 2007.
Yeah. Delhi Golf Club,
yeah. Mr. Pavan Munjal was kind enough to give me, because I was the top amateur up until that point. So he gave me an invitational spot as a pro at the Indian Open. So that was my debut tournament. We had flown in straight from Taiwan after the Nomura Cup. I played well there. I had a great practice round at DGC, warmed up perfectly on the first tee, and then I shot like 92, I think, on that first day. And
that's right. 19 over 20. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and it just, pro golf just didn't work for me for some reason. I won Q School the following year, the PGTI Q School. But just, I mean, I had flashes here and there, 1 or 2 top 10s, but nothing to write home about. And yeah, so after I think a 5-year run, I decided to give it a rest.
Wow, that was you tried hard. That means, you gave it 5 years.
I did.
After that.
I tried everything in the book that I thought would fix it, which is obviously not the solution. I went from one coach to the other. I went down to Australia to try and work on the K-West. I went through sports psychology. I went through a neuro-linguistic programming course.
Wow.
So I did everything that I thought would straighten it out, but it's the little space that I couldn't somehow. I mean, I didn't play anywhere close to the level I was as an amateur after I turned pro. And till today, I can't put my finger on what the reason for that was. So just when I look back, it just wasn't for me, pro golf.
Yeah, it's like that triple bogey. Why it happened and where it came from, God only knows.
I don't know.
It happened, but it happened,
I'd warmed up. Like I said, it's like right until that moment, I'd warmed up beautifully on the range, feeling great. And, I had this great amateur run. I thought I was going to be the next big thing in Indian pro golf. Came onto the first tee and made an 8. And just straight downhill from there.
Maybe it was a course you chose, I think. It was a tough track.
But I played great golf in
you played well, that's right.
Yeah, I was a student member there, so I knew the course inside out.
You were there.
I went to college in Delhi.
Right, of course.
It's just, I don't know what it was. But yeah, that's one chapter of my life that's closed and another one's open now. So.
That'll be a mystery all your life, and for everybody who wants to know what happened and how do you take care of it, that answer is not coming from you, I think. But
how I took care of it, I to be honest, like in 2012, I decided, I wasn't enjoying golf anymore. I wasn't enjoying competing. I wasn't enjoying because I wasn't seeing the results that I was expecting of myself. I wasn't enjoying the training. I got to a point where just putting on sunblock in the morning became a chore that I wasn't looking forward to, So I decided to put my clubs away, take a break, and wait for that sort of fire to come back. And when it did, I'd restart. But it never did. And golf had pretty much been the only thing I did for a greater part of my life, So it was a big decision to sort of hang up my boots and figure life out after that.
Yeah, it's not good for anyone who faces that, But luckily for you, life gave you another shot at it, and what you've done with the golf apparel business is something I would really want to know from you and how that came along. And it was a fantastic thing, and you stayed inside the game. You're still in the game. It's not that you've left golf. You still get around here and there, but you're doing something that you love and within the system. So how do you manage the apparel business? Because that was completely different, wasn't it?
It was something I had no experience or knowledge about at all. But how it started was growing up, I'd see these kids wearing all the big European and American brands, colorful trousers and fancy shirts, something I could never afford. But I always wanted to, look good when I was playing. I believe if you look good, you feel good.
The green pants and all, I remember.
Okay. So I'd go find fabric somewhere, take it to a tailor, have them stitch it out for me, and figured my way around trying to, turn myself out. Also, out of respect to the game, you show up shabby, it means everything about you is shabby, So given the fact that I could never afford it, it was always in the back of my mind that if a day came when I stopped playing, I would like to explore the opportunity of offering a similar product to the ones that were out of my reach, but at a price that Indians could afford and that wouldn't pinch their wallets, because no matter how much money you may have, as an Indian, dropping $100 on a t-shirt or a pair of trousers is going to pinch you. Knowing very well that one wash and ironing with Adobe can completely mess it up. So it was always in the back of my mind. When I stopped, honestly, when I stopped playing golf, I honestly didn't know what I was going to do next. It was a completely new place for me. I had to sort of, figure out my bearings, and I had the fortune of my then sponsor, the Cova Hills Golf Academy. My boss said he wanted to start a mobile app development company. So he said, why don't you move to Madras to our head office and look into the business development of that new startup. Was still not something up my alley. I did 1 year of that, but it meant sitting at a desk 9 to 5, trying to cold call people and ask them if they needed sort of ERP applications designed for them. Definitely wasn't my calling. And then revived this idea that I had almost a decade prior about starting something in the golf apparel business. But it was a completely clean new slate for me, something I had no idea about. To be honest, was lost in the enormity of what the situation may be. Because I knew I was going to be taking on giants like Callaway and Nike.
Yeah, of course.
I needed to make a small mark in their already existing market. But I think that situation of being lost and disoriented and trying to find your way in the darkness is living, it's invigorating. It's because if you go through the motions of the mundane life that you're always used to, I could have gone on missing cuts as a professional golfer. It somehow strangely would have still been in my comfort zone because I was used to it. I could have, said, I missed another cut, had another bad week, traveled to another new place, didn't make any money. It was something I was used to. To step out of that and create something from just an idea was exciting. It was exciting for me. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty deep and pretty risky. That's a lot of.
It was, and I had a tiny amount of capital saved up that I put into it, and touch wood, it's been going pretty well. It's 6 years now. Made a little bit of a mark, I would like to believe. Golfers in India know the brand to a fair extent. And to come back 3 years after having stopped and be the apparel partner of the PGTA and stuff, the moments like that when I look back make it all sort of worth it. Yeah.
What you said is interesting because you didn't even come up with a product which was cheap or something. You came up with a product priced well in the market. You were also competing with the rest of the brands. You didn't make your product look like a cheap brand because it wasn't. It offered the quality, it offered the variety, and I'm so happy that you actually stuck to that. You weren't just there just to make another apparel brand. It wasn't this thing for you. You came up with a solid product and also priced very well. I'm not saying that it was, and it wasn't one of those low end, like 700 rupee t-shirts. It was priced attractive. Attractive and solid. So you didn't even feel that it was a cheap brand or something. You spent money behind the brand. You spent your passion behind the brand, developed the brand, talked to a lot of guys in the industry. I know that you put it on a lot of good players, a lot of top players were your brand. And I think you made that effort to make this brand stand out, and I think it's as good as any other brand out there. But also explain a bit why Three Below, and I know why it's Three Below. I understand apparel and the materials, but tell everybody over here why Three Below. A lot of people ask which Three Below is it, the score or is it the temperature?
Well, it's actually got nothing to do with the fabric. So Three Below is like 3 under. 3 Below par is a great score at golf, but it's also a score that everyone can achieve. You know, irrespective of whether you're a 32 handicapper or you're Tiger Woods, you can shoot 3 Below on any given day. To shoot 29 over par for a 32 handicapper is 3 Below. So the idea behind it was that it's a great score that's achievable, and this is a great brand that's affordable. So I'd like to correct, it's not as expensive as the other brands that are out there.
JJ, I wanted to save you on that. I can't because you kind of walked into it. I was going to tell you 3 Below, like 3 degrees below temperature and stuff like that, as the fabric is cooler, stuff like that. But you fell for the 69, and you said it's achievable by everyone. I totally agree. Absolutely. Yeah, we all play 69 very, very often.
No, but even if you're a high handicapped club level golfer, you can shoot 3 Below your handicap on, I'm sure most golfers would have gotten to 3 Below at least once in their golfing lives, so... So that's the story behind where the name came from.
I'm not going to go further into this.
With regard to fabric and stuff, it is all climate friendly. It does keep you cooler. It's
Absolutely.
all wicked, moisture wicked fabric and everything. So that's one take on it as well.
I just wonder you want more direct in putting the score out.
No, stay with 3 Below.
Nice, good one, nice one. So let's take a few things that people are saying over here. You have a lot of friends out there, JJ. You have a lot of followers watching this. You have Gurbaz out there. You have Karandeep, Navtej Singh. Even I would like to know where the pocket money went from the IGU days. That's what he's trying to refer to.
Yeah, we had that was great. That was part of what I started this with. So when we won a medal in Doha in 2006. And it happened before, it still happens, that the government gives you sort of a
stipend.
Check. Yeah. No, like a check to take, that's your money. And it's grown every year. I think now if you win a gold medal, it's upwards of 1 crore that the government gives you if you win an individual gold at the Asian Games or the Olympics and stuff. So when we were playing, we came back and we got some cash, and that's part of the savings that I started this with.
Wow, so fantastic. So golf did give you everything, and you're still
Absolutely.
inside
Golf's
the system.
given me everything, yeah. And I'm so glad what I'm doing is still keeping me in the loop.
And someone just shared something that you did, Rajiv Kunakat, and he says that he did everything from the start, from choosing the material to design, to finding the tailor, to the final product, to model, to sizes, to taking it to the courier office by himself. Superman, super guy.
It's true. I started when I started, and I believe if you're not fully invested yourself in something like this, which was a passion project for me, it'll never reach its true potential, and literally from like everything you just said, fabric sourcing, design, down to the accounting, to going to the bank. So now when I have people working for me, I know when he says it took him 3 hours to do something in the bank, I know. I said, no, it couldn't have taken you 3 hours because I've done exactly that in 15 minutes, Or when someone said this fabric can't be sourced, I'll say, no, I've sourced it myself. So it can be done. You have to search the right places and it can be done. So the fact that I had to do everything myself when I was getting off the ground, I think has given me a lot more insight than I would have had if money wasn't a concern and I just started this with, with all the funds that I needed, a team, one person in charge of everything. It could have been great too, but I don't think I would have known as much about my product and business as I do today because of how I started.
Wow, They say now, if you smell the flowers in the valley, you can appreciate its beauty from the hilltop. So you've been down there, you know what it smells like. Absolutely, so fantastic. So you can appreciate its beauty when you see it now.
Yeah.
So Shivas Nath is saying JJ is fully involved with every design, from color to fabric to logo placements. Whether it's a single shirt or a few hundred, he's all love, his passion, you know.
Shivas Nath's been a supporter and a patron from day one. So
he's a bright guy.
He is. I've had the fortune of having so many friends, ex-golfing colleagues, family, all of that support what I'm doing, you know, and that you need that motivation, and almost gave me a bit of a head start. If I didn't have all the backing that I did in terms of well-wishers, people who went out on a whim and bought it for the first time just because JJ started it, you know, let's give it a shot.
Right,
you know, this kid will probably be a good product. Let's try it. And I've been customers for 6 years since. So I'm very fortunate to have had that sort of help over the years.
I'm happy, JJ, because you sound so confident about your product. You know, the way you talk about it, you know the product is good. And that's what I love the most, when someone believes that the product is very good and what he's offering, and he's absolutely there. So Samuel George is asking this, and I wanted to ask you also the similar thing. He said, let's not forget what JJ brings with his personal style quotient.
Sam's my best mate from school. Nothing. He knows nothing about golf other than what he knows of me.
and that's a lot of golf. I can tell you that.
so like I said, it was respecting the game for me when I was playing. It was respecting the game by turning out well, you know. And I made it a point. Like, I cleaned my shoes after every round. I would clean my clubs after every tournament. Clean my grips. Made sure I looked presentable, because you have to take yourself seriously before you can go out there and perform. You know, and like I said earlier, if you look shabby, everything about you is going to be shabby. Your game is going to be shabby, your practice is going to be shabby, and there's going to be no results at the end of the day. So what I brought with my personal quotient is that I took it upon myself to look the part.
Right. So a lot of people very happy with you, and they're so proud of you. Congratulations, JJ. Aparnava Sant Kumar. And there's Anirudh Bell saying, a testament to his super enduring success is that he's a very generous Santa Claus to his friends. Jokes apart, I know his story, but can listen to it again and again because he's such an inspiration. So a lot of good things out there, JJ. You're in the hearts of a lot of people out there.
I have the hearts of so many people. That's my biggest wealth, you know. The money and the fame and stuff will come and go, but I believe my wealth is in the personal connections I have with the people I've surrounded myself with all my life. Nothing to do with my business or my golf, but that's my strength and my wealth.
So tell us, JJ, now that you've got an insight into this market and stuff like that, and Chetan Golf is also asking you the similar question, how many years since you started, and how's the golf market, apparel market in India, and what's your take on the apparel market, JJ? What does it look like? What's the size of it? Is there any scope for growth, or what's going on?
Are you talking about pre-COVID or post-COVID? Because I'm not a clairvoyant, and I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. And I've heard a lot of people predict a lot of things about what's going to happen
what's been happening in the apparel market? I mean, the apparel market existing, because India is not going to see a lot of change. It's not going to go away or going to come forward. Because India kind of stays in the same place. We don't have much numbers anyways, as you're aware of. But if it falls below this, I mean, we won't have golf at all.
I think we're 80,000 to 100,000 golfers in India today?
That's you being very generous there.
Less than that? So,
a very informed source said it's 50,000 and below, and that's the highest he'll ever go at,
I think there's the defense quotient is not... Is this including all the...
Everything together.
But to answer your question, the apparel market... it's got literally every global player has entered the Indian market, because it's a booming economy. You know, golf in the West is a dying sport. In the Indian subcontinent and east of here, it's still on the upward trend. So I think the most recent one was Under Armour. They've made their presence in India, but all of the other big guys are already here. And I think if you offer the right product at the right price, there's room for all of us to make enough bread. Just like there is for golf equipment, for golf balls. There are customers willing to spend money on golf apparel at every price segment. I know there will be people I will never be able to tap into because anything under $80 to $100 to them will seem like an inferior product. They will always exist. But I think to answer your question about the Indian apparel market, I think for the capacity that I have today, I think there's enough of a market.
Right. And another question which personally I want to ask is, if you identify with the market of Indian golf and you feel that junior golf has space in it, how come there has been no one who caters to junior golf? No apparel company till date has ever catered to entire junior golf from the age of 6 onwards to 18. Yeah, there are junior. So I want to ask you this question. Why don't I see you more out there for junior golf? Because every single junior golfing parent I meet is struggling, really struggling to find apparel. Good golf apparel for their kids, unless it's Under Armour or something which is sourced from outside India. Nike, Under Armour, they all make these apparel. I mean, Under Armour is, I think, the most popular around. But why isn't there this Indian brand called 3 Below in every space of that junior golf section, or are there plans for it?
So we do offer a junior golf line starting from the age of 7, not 6, 7 to 14. And then 15 upwards in general. A 15-year-old and upwards will fit into our men's small. So we do have a product range from the age of 7 all the way to an adult. Why we are not present at every junior event, I assume you're asking about why we don't have a physical stall there selling our product and stuff, is because, to be very honest, I don't run a very large operation. And there's unfortunately a roof over how much a team my size can do successfully, so we can't, as much as we would love to. I would love to be at every event with a little pop-up. There's right now in the situation I'm in, there's a cap on how many places a few people can be at the same time. So that's the main reason. But our entire range is available on our website, 3below.co. Where we have our entire kids range. We have a small women's range. Unfortunately, there are not enough women that play golf in India as much as I would like. But we do offer a women's range, we offer a kids range, and a full men's range.
JJ, you won't be able to live that one down. You have no idea what you just said.
It's the truth. More women should play golf in India. It's the truth.
No, they're getting there. They're getting there. Definitely, they're matching up. All the junior kids. I see a lot of girls nowadays. Yeah, it's a good thing. But so that means someone who told me that that apparel companies don't get into the junior market because there's not enough businesses. That's not true, right? Because you say you are in the business. Because
of things like you are doing, I see 10x the number of kids compared to when we were growing up. There's 100 junior tours now all across the country, region specific. You can play, you can learn and play competitive golf literally within your city or your state, even if you don't have the capacity to travel. There's your tour, there's Albatross, there's the IGU store, and there's heaps of kids now playing golf compared to when we were playing. So there is definitely a market. I mean, there's no reason why I don't have a larger junior line and why I'm not on every kid instead of them. I would love to convert them from Under Armour and Puma customers to mine, but it'll happen. I know it'll happen.
So Harmeet Sani also shouting out saying Pro Shop should have a kids section for clothing. I agree, definitely, and JJ's brand will definitely be there, and it'll be, I mean, unless he's been selling, he sells out most of the time. So JJ, you got to ramp up your production. So what about 3 Below Travels? The Next Move podcast is asking.
So that's sort of a side vertical that I decided to start a few months ago, where there are a lot of golf tour operators that around the world, whether it's inbound, outbound, but very specific to travel for golf. So I wanted to start something where I could offer a product where golfers would travel to a destination, but their experience wouldn't end with just the golf. So the first 4 tours that we put out, there was one to Italy, where you play golf and experience a food tour, because Italy is so known for their culinary stuff. We put one out in Japan, where you would go for golf and you would experience a whiskey trail. You know how Japan's among the best in the world now. The third one we did was to Norway, where you would golf, and if the gods were on your side, see the northern lights. Wow. And the fourth one was, so there was Italy, Japan, Norway, and sorry, my memory is failing me. But this was the idea behind it, that the experience a golfer didn't have to end with the golf.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's a little bit pricey because of the experiences we're offering and the destinations we have on offer. But there'll be takers for it, I'm sure.
Of course. But for next year, though, this year, I think everything is kind of...
I don't know now when. I don't know when international travel is going to be a thing even anymore. But, yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. We're just going to show them videos of these places in a room.
Yeah.
So Akshay Maliwal, your friend from Singapore, is saying JJ is a true representative of Indian golf. Even though professional golf wasn't for him, he still continued to persevere in the golf industry. What's next or the big plan for 3 Below?
Well, it's just keep growing organically the way we have been over the last 6 years. I don't want to... This has been my thought process from day one, to not try and bite off more than I can chew. You see very often, not just brands, but even startups in other spaces, starting off in a big flourish, and then you don't hear of them 6 months down the line. They've sort of utilized all of their startup seed capital, and it's kind of landed them flat on their face. So I'm happy with the progression it's taken over the last few years, and I'd like to scale it up, yes, but in a very, very sort of organic fashion.
Right.
One step at a time.
Are you restricted to just t-shirts, apparel? When you say apparel, is this trousers, skirts, shorts, everything?
We don't do skirts yet, but we do t-shirts, trousers, shorts, caps, belts, socks. We do custom golf bags, which has been that's a cool sort of product, because our golfers want to be individual in their style on the course. But you're buying shirts off the rack, you're buying trousers off the rack, your set is the same as the next guy's. There's 5 or 6 brands you can choose from. But if you had a bag that said Romit Bose in your 2 or 3 favorite colors, that's a real standout product. So that's been something that's cool that we've offered. Umbrellas, tees, little accessories, flasks, things like that. So not just t-shirts. No.
Right. Someone gave the idea about 40 Love tennis apparel? ? Pritha Nambiar.
40 Love tennis apparel. A friend of mine actually, when I started and I explained to him why it's called 3 Below, he said, I'm eagerly waiting your 16 above line, because that's the best he could score. 3 Below is far out of my reach, waiting for your 16 above range.
So Pritha is asking you to start a brand called 40 Love tennis apparel.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I would like to. I don't want to restrict it to golf in the long run, and I'd like to be. I've chatted with people who've achieved great success in business and wanted to take this to different geographies and to different countries, but their advice to me has been to go deeper in the existing market that I know. Rather than spread thinner and horizontally, which could mean starting tennis and cycling and running and other things, but pivot on the market that I already am aware of. 40 Love, maybe it's a cool name.
It is. I think that's a nice one. I think. Okay, fine.
Another childhood friend of mine, though.
Royalty well deserved, Pritha. right there.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So lots of guys interacting over your show, your chat over here. There's Shiv Berry reaching out to Karan Vasudeva, and they're having a little conversation amongst themselves right there. So, so that Coco Golf is Shiv Berry.
Yeah. All guys I spent a lot of time with when I was playing at the DGC.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So good. It was great chatting with you, JJ, and you're doing a lot of stuff for Indian golf, which is required. And now that you say that there's a junior line there, I'm definitely excited to get in touch with you and check this
I'd love
out.
to be associated with your tour. Definitely, you're doing great things in the north for.
Well, lots of my students keep asking for clothing, and we don't know where to get these clothing from. So,
and we customize everything, so you can have your tour custom clothing, that you can offer to your kids as well.
Right. People are getting banned from buying your products because they're so good, and they have so many of yours as C. Bagaria. So,
he keeps telling me his wife gives him a hard time for his cupboard being full of 3 Below shirts.
Maybe you should get him a cupboard, no? Another new closet by 3 Below. 3 Below closets. Get into something like that.
Why not? Why not? Whatever there's an opportunity in, why not?
Lovely. Super. And through this, I would like to also appeal to a lot of guys out there, that we need to take care of a lot of the support staff and guys who help us during the game. Maybe caddies, maybe teachers who teach us the game. They also come from underprivileged backgrounds. A lot of these teachers do come from this background and teach us. And they also like daily wage laborers. So people are taking care of the caddies. The clubs are taking care of the caddies. But look out for these teachers as well, because they also had a respectable living before the COVID-19 happened and were taken by surprise. And obviously they don't have that many reserves. Also, these, there are lots of these fringe professional players who really are not making very much money right now. So if you guys can help them out also and reach out to them, I think it'll be great. So I think these are little things that we can do at the moment. Definitely we'll get your T-shirts as well, JJ, once the other side of COVID. You guys are online, so online, but I guess transporting them here and there is a problem right now still.
Yeah.
So,
Tamil Nadu still sort of, we've had some new cases, so even logistics companies have shut shop till the 17th at least, but no telling if that's going to be extended even further.
And how about a non-golfing line? Ask Malvika. Can we have a line for non-golfers as well? Your clothes are amazing.
So yeah, that's part of the ideas that are in the pipeline as well, to be able to offer a product that you can shower and change into after golf, even if it's cotton polos or cool printed shirts. So yes, Malvika, that's part of the plan.
I'm definitely on for the cool printed shirts, buddy. I'm a Tommy Bahama fan, so you know what kind of stuff I like. So JJ, we're looking for those printed shirts for me. That's me.
Oh, from you? Okay. I thought you were reading out someone's message.
No, that was me. So definitely, I need those.
We have a new printed range of T-shirts that actually just came out, but unfortunately because of
we'll catch them on the
lockdown,
other
we're
side.
Still holding on to the entire stock. So yeah, once it's done.
Nice.
Themed after it was a jungle series, so animal prints.
Wow, fantastic. Nice. Good job, my friend. Well done, and see you soon.
Good chatting with you, Dr. B.
Okay, buddy.
Catch up soon.
Thanks so much. Thanks.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers, man. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.